We come through like. We come through your speakers like.
I'm not regular.
Oh no. Believe it or not, every day we getting closer. We getting closer every day. Super FM.
Oh, I love this.
Super FM.
Good morning. My name is George Chooks. You're onto your One Family, One radio station, and you're welcome yet again to our special radio series on ending female genital mutilation in Edo State, brought to you by the Women's Right and Health Project with support from UNICEF Nigeria. It's been a few weeks now of us talking about the dangers of female genital mutilation, or as some people will call it, female circumcision, which involves the cutting off of some part of the entirety of the external reproductive organ of a woman or a girl. For the past few weeks, we've been able to establish the harmful effects. We've been able to look at how CSOs and other non-governmental organizations can help us in the fight. We've gone to see the huge role of traditionalists and cultures and myths in having this situation go on. We've looked at the detriment when it comes to health. We have things like bleeding. We have things like chronic infections. We have things like women and girls being infected by HIV or hepatitis B because the materials being used for these activities are not even sterilized. And one of the things we've told you repeatedly that comes from female genital mutilation is the possibility of death. Now, this morning, I am beyond sad to announce to you that just yesterday, news came out of the Gambia after a 1-month-old baby girl lost her life during the practice of female genital mutilation. The baby, who began bleeding profusely after the act, was rushed to a hospital in the capital, Banjul, after she developed severe bleeding. But this baby girl was pronounced dead on arrival. This was just yesterday, August 11th, 2025. And these types of issues, these types of incidents makes it even more important for us to have these conversations. And as usual, we are going to proceed. I have a guest with me today in the studio. Her name is Mrs. Ipefan Joan. She is the Assistant Director, Ministry of Justice. And we're looking at a very specific part of our conversation this morning. We are looking at legal frameworks against female genital mutilation in Edo State. Let's welcome her. Good morning, ma'am.
Thank you. Good morning.
So happy to have you on the show this morning.
Thank you.
I know it was a market day, so I was thinking how stressful it was going to be for you to make it down to the office. So I had my fingers crossed, but I was excited to see that you could join us. Now, last 2 weeks actually, we had Dr. Ben here join us, and one of the things he mentioned towards fighting female genital mutilation was the value of the VAP law, and how even though it exists, we struggle with implementation for cases of FGM. And of course, he went on to identify some of those problems and why they exist. So when I heard that we're going to be having a person from the Ministry of Justice, I knew that we're going to have just as much information as we may need as at this time. So I'll start off by asking you the very first question. What laws exist against FGM in Nigeria and in Edo State?
Good. There are several laws that exist against female genital mutilation, also known as the circumcision. It is not too much, it can be mentioned again and again. It is called female circumcision locally. To start with, we have the Constitution, that is the ground norm. All other laws take root from the Constitution. The Constitution, though may not have specifically provided or prohibited the female circumcision or the female genital mutilation, it has provisions against discrimination by whatever reason. Discrimination by way of sex, because you are a girl, you are a woman, you are not a man, you are this, you are that, or because you come from here, you are not from there. The Constitution provides for that. You must not be discriminated against. Section 15, sub 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, provides for that. And it sets out equality of rights. if this person deserves to enjoy this, so does this person. If this Nigerian deserves to enjoy this, so does this one. I know from the series that have, been taken, a lot has been said. You hear of male circumcision. It is done for health reasons. But for the female, nothing exactly has been said. For me, it is discriminatory. So the Constitution is against such discrimination, and it provides that everyone has rights as it is. And then in Edo State, down in Edo State, we have laws provided to protect people against female genital mutilation. You'll be surprised to hear that Edo State was the first in the whole of Nigeria to have a law against female genital mutilation. And that law is known as the Prohibition of Female Genital Mutilation Law of 1999. That specifically provided for female genital mutilation because it is wrong. It causes health issues, severe bleeding. And then Section 2 of that particular law is the one that defines what female genital mutilation is. So you don't say, I did not know that it's the same thing as female circumcision. What I do is circumcision. No. That law defines it as the cutting of parts or whole removal of any part of the entire female organ. If you practice such thing by whatever name, this law said no. Section 4 of that law lists the principal offenders. So you don't say, I was there, I did not know that it will also affect me. List who the offenders are. Here we have the person who offers herself for circumcision. Because it's not in all cases you find circumcision or female genital mutilation at a young age. Some do it before they get married. So you are an adult. It's against you. You can be held responsible for offering yourself for female genital mutilation. Any person who forces, entices, causes any person to undergo female genital mutilation, you are the one encouraging somebody. Don't worry, it will allow you to have your babies well, whatever. This law is saying you are culpable. The third set of persons are parents or guardians that take their children for circumcision or female genital mutilation. They are all involved. They are culpable. The performer of the particular operation, all these persons, the law frowns at their activities. And whenever they are arrested, can be prosecuted. All this category of persons mentioned are culpable persons and cannot be held responsible for the acts of female genital mutilation.
All right. This has been really insightful, but I also want us to look a bit about the VAP law that has been mentioned time and time again.
I'll get there, just for us to know that we have several laws against
Exactly.
This.
Thank you so much.
And this comes before the VAP law. This one was in 1999. Then, in 2015, the Federal Republic of Nigeria had the VAP law. In 2019, we domesticated it in Edo State. That law again, in Section 11, provides for the female genital mutilation. In 2021, the 2019 law was repealed for a few reasons, and we have a better law there now. So we have the 2021 Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law. Section 11 of that particular law provides for the prohibition of female genital mutilation. That part of the law says there will be no more. Whoever is found practicing it will be held liable. And then that same section 11 sub 2 punishes all those who practice it as parents who gets involved. It provides for punishment of 4 years in prison or an option of fine of 500,000 naira, or both when someone is found liable, that you are found engaging in female genital mutilation. Upon conviction is 4 years or 500,000 naira as an option of fine, or both in some cases. Section 11 sub 3 provides that any person who attempts to carry out female genital mutilation, which means attempting to do it, is also an offense. When you are found liable upon conviction, is 2 years imprisonment and 300,000 naira option of fine, or both. Furthermore, we have section 11 sub 4, which provides that any person who incites, aids, abets, procures another person to commit the offense of female genital mutilation is deemed to have taken part in committing the offense and is liable upon conviction for a term of 4 years, just like the principal offender. 4 years or 500,000 naira option of fine, or both in some cases. Section 11 sub 5 of that same law, of the VAP law, provides that any person who receives another, unless for the purpose of handing him or her over to the security agents, or assist him or her knowing that he or she committed the offense of female genital mutilation, is an accessory after the fact. In this case, you may not have been part of the procedure. You were not the one who carried out the operation. You are not the parent of the child. That you received the person to protect the person against the law is an offense. And in that case, when such person is found liable, is convicted, is liable on conviction to a term of 2 years imprisonment or an option of fine not exceeding 300,000 naira, or both. So in all of these, we see that the problem is not the law. It's not that there are no laws available to clamp down on these people or to punish offenders. There are laws. They are bound. But other issues put together form the reason why we are still struggling with the problem of female genital mutilation in Edo State.
That was a very all-encompassing response. I really appreciate it. Now, while we know that ignorance is never an excuse, I must ask, acknowledge the elephant in the room. Are people even aware that these laws exist? And how is the ministry making sure that this information is publicly available?
Well, studies have shown that some people are aware, not entirely. Some are aware, and some will say they are not. They don't know what you are talking about, probably because of the name. In our local communities, you get to know that it's female circumcision. And we are talking about female genital mutilation. That is what it is to us. It is mutilation, it's not cut. Some are aware, some are not. They still practice it because of our attachment to our traditional beliefs, even those who are aware, because you will be amazed the caliber of persons who get involved. Nurses are now be put into the category of people who get involved in the practice. But they cannot say they are not aware that it's wrong. So it's not the level of enlightenment per se, or the level of awareness. We discover that it is a traditional attachment that is one of the reasons why people still practice it.
Interesting. So let's look at enforcement. One of our guests in the past on this show had mentioned that while these laws exist, and I love the way you took out the time to emphasize just how available these laws are, they've explained that the problem seems to be with enforcement. So in your opinion, what do you think is standing in the way of enforcement, and what kind of recommendations would you make?
I'm looking at enforcement. Those who are supposed to make arrests, the law also provides for it. The police, you have the local government officials, you have officials of the Ministry of Health, even though generally anybody can make an arrest and hand over to the police. So it is difficult. I wouldn't know if I should call it a syndicate. In communities where it is practiced, it is a general belief. They have been so brainwashed and made to believe that, it is the right thing to do. But I am happy for what WRAP is doing in collaboration with UNICEF, to make people more aware, and this time to even make them understand that if you are found, you'll be arrested by any of these persons and you'll be prosecuted. That's where the Ministry of Justice comes in. Prosecution. Whoever is arrested and the matter is taken to court, we are at that point called in to prosecute. Unfortunately, it is very pathetic, it is painful to know that even though it is very rampant in places like Usain, for instance, or again Ebode, where studies have shown that it's very, very prevalent. Nobody, you just see that people are not being arrested. It is very, very painful. It is pathetic.
And these places you've listed, they are not very far from where we are now. Would you imagine that? Interesting stuff. If you just joined us, my name is Joyce Chooks. This is your One Family, One radio station, Super 88.1 FM. You're listening to our special radio series on ending female genital mutilation in Edo State, brought to you by the Women's Right and Health Project with support from UNICEF Nigeria. And today we're looking at the legal frameworks against female genital mutilation, aka female circumcision, here in Edo State. And I've been joined by a very special guest, Mrs. Joa Nikbefan, who is the Assistant Director from the Ministry of Justice. And she's taking up the time to break down a few things for us. I thoroughly enjoyed when she took out the time to list all the available laws, because sometimes we'll say, does the Nigerian law even stand for us? The Nigerian Constitution is even fighting for us. It has been fighting for a very, very long time. And we also looked at the struggles with implementation and enforcement, and what the Ministry of Justice is and can do about it. Now, I opened this by letting you know of a story that happened in the Gambia, where a 1-month-old baby lost her life yesterday after she bled to death from female genital mutilation. That's a child that did not get a chance to live at all. That is a family that has now suffered an irreparable loss. I can only imagine how the parents feel, what is going through their minds at this moment after such an incident. And I can only hope that no other parent in this country or outside will ever experience something like that. Now, as usual, we do give you some time to send in your questions or your comments and your thoughts. And I'll be opening the phone lines right now while our guest is in the studio. And maybe she could answer a few of your questions. The numbers to call are these: 0705 512 9881, 0705 572 7881, We also have 0902 672 2592. Now that last number doubles as a WhatsApp number, so you can send us a message and I'll call it one more time. 0902 672 2592. So you can send in your thoughts, send in your questions, and our guests will try to answer as many as possible, as clear as possible. So now that we've been able to identify some gaps in enforcement, in your professional opinion, is there something that can be done, maybe by law enforcement, maybe by CSOs, maybe by traditional rulers, in a way to make sure that these people are aware of where the law stands and can make enforcement simpler? We had a guest one time that said that he would recommend that female genital mutilation be added to the curriculum for schools so that young girls who are possible victims, when they have learned about it in school and they found out that there's a potential for that kind of thing to happen to them, they could report to their teachers. We've also heard the traditional rulers can maybe provide a little bit of a public forum where a person can anonymously report. Are there any other recommendations to bring these perpetrators closer to the long arm of the law?
Just like we are doing now, we are trying to enlighten our listeners as to what can be possibly done in a situation like that, and to let them know that it is a crime against the state. So we cannot stop enlightening people. Awareness programs, education, yes. We can do a lot of awareness programs, just like we're doing now. Even go to communities where these things are prevalent. Enlighten those who are practitioners of this female genital mutilation. Because the problem is majorly with them. Traditional leaders, all those who make policies in our traditional settings to make our people believe that it is a sane canon. You must pass through this procedure because you are a female, because you are a girl, before you go into your own womanhood. No. Enlightenment programs, community engagements, like I have said. Engage our community people. The places where it is currently prevalent, even where it is not so, where we think it's not so serious, because sometimes you find out that it is upon a studies you discover a lot is happening here. Otherwise, you won't even realize that we are in it at this age and time. And then again, the law enforcement programs, enforcement agents can be strengthened to carry out enforcements, to be able to make arrests and sustain it. They can do that by having a department, maybe in the police, that will deal with situations like this when it arises. So that way, it's, our cases of female genital mutilation maybe will not be swept under the carpet, thinking is irrelevant, thinking, is our culture, thinking, that's because she's going into womanhood. No. And then even survivors can also be supported. Because like I have said before, there are people who are already grown women, before, that's ladies, before it is done to them. It's the stigma. They carry that pain in their hearts, knowing that, I just put myself out there and I was caught severally. That they even survived it. Not everybody is lucky. Some bleed to death. So such persons can be supported, and when they are aware that people are ready, that the government or UNICEF, for instance, is ready to support such survivors. Those who are yet to carry out female genital mutilation, or who are yet to pass through the procedure, will know that they will stand up for themselves. Maybe report the case to the police, or reach out to the Ministry of Women Affairs, or the RAP office that is also doing so well to enlighten our people and bring awareness to us.
Thank you so much. Like I said earlier, we will be able to welcome a few questions, maybe one or two. Though our time is already coming to a close, we'd love to hear your thoughts on these ones. Even comments are welcome. If you're a person who has suffered from female genital mutilation, which is female circumcision, somewhere it's happening, somewhere you think maybe we are not aware, and you want to bring it to the knowledge of RAP and the knowledge of the Ministry of Justice, this will be a great time for you to do that. The number is 0705 5129881 0705 5727881. We also have 0902 672 2592. That one doubles as a WhatsApp number, so you can send us a WhatsApp message on that one. I'll call it one more time: 0902 672 2592. Now I'm going to just throw this. This is a bit of a curveball question, but I think I should ask it to you before we wrap up, because we have just 3 minutes left. So if you have a person, a few weeks ago, we had some very interesting phone calls here where people who confirmed that they have performed female circumcision on their own children, with one of the children being as young as 2 months old. So clearly we know that people like that are listening. So I'm going to have you, if you can, speak to them directly about the place of the law. But before that, let me just get this call. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning and welcome. What's your name and where are you calling us from, please?
I'm Mr. Jawe.
Ma?
I'm Mr. Jawe from Adowa.
Oh, fantastic. Welcome, ma'am. Please go ahead.
I love your voice too much. That is why I just called you.
Okay.
I've been listening to your program. Every of your program. But just like say, I want to tell you for the law. May I go to you?
Thank you so much.
Nothing that I tell you. Joy, I love you.
Thank you
I
so
love
much.
you so much.
Thank you,
Continue
ma'am.
with your great work.
Thank you
God
so
will
much,
bless
ma'am.
you and lift you up.
Amen. God bless you, ma'am. Thank you so
I
much.
really appreciate. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Much appreciated. I'm afraid to answer the next call if it will be a compliment, because our time is fast spent. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, welcome. Hello, are you there? All right, I think at this point I'll just go ahead. So please, we know the people are listening, people who are directly involved. You know when you mentioned Usain and the rest, it's not even far from here. If you enter a vehicle now, start driving, you get to Usain. So they can hear us there, I can confirm, they can reach us. What message would you give them from this point of the law?
This is to reach out to those who get involved in female genital mutilation or the female circumcision, like it is called. To understand that the law is after them. This is the right time for them to stay away from it. Please, for those who bring their children out for circumcision because of one thing or the other, because of make-believes, please, there are places you can report issues like this to. When you are being pestered to circumcise you, report to the police, report to the Ministry of Health, report to the Women Affairs, all these people, even to the local governments. These people are agents that could make arrests and hand over to the police, who will do their job and bring them out for prosecution. The law is against it.
Thank you so much, Ma. I really appreciate it. This has been such a robust conversation. And as usual, I want to start off by thanking all our partners who make this happen. We're grateful to the Women's Right and Health Project, who come with